Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my videos. So Ole Gunnar Solsjaer is not prepared for the new season. Main explanations is because obviously we have not yet signed Jadon Sancho. We have obviously not signed a centre half in, and like I said, Manchester United do need a centre half, to go alongside Harry Maguire. We obviously want to recommend a left back in. And we're struggling to offload players in this summer transfer window. Quite frankly, there is still deadwood at the football club. We're looking to get rid of the likes of Jesse Lingard. We're looking to get rid of Andres Pereira. We're obviously looking to offload Smalling, Rojo and Phil Jones. We're also looking to offload Diego Dalot. And Sergio Romero is open to leaving the football club because obviously he's not going to want to stay at Manchester United as third choice goalkeeper. Now, I think there's around 3 weeks left of this summer transfer window, and we have only made one signing so far, and that was obviously Donny van de Beek from Ajax. We got him in a deal worth £40 million. We paid just over 34 million up front with like 4.4 million in add-ons, and Donny van de Beek signed a 5-year deal with the football club to keep under contract with Man United till 2025, and there's also an option of a further year. Don't forget, he's wearing the number 34 shirt, and will be making his Premier League debut against Crystal Palace on Saturday. Recently made his debut for the club against Aston Villa in pre-season. We did lose by 1-0. But I think Donny van de Beek, he's going to bring a lot to Manchester United. He'll bring goals, he'll add more depth. And I think he'll go well alongside Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. But Solskjaer has said he wants to make 3 more signings after Donny van de Beek. But Solskjaer, recently revealed that he has been frustrated with the board, obviously over the lack of transfer business in this summer transfer window. And I think Solskjaer's totally blameless in all of this because I feel as though he is progressing as Manchester United manager. And he has publicly admitted that Manchester United have got to spend money in this summer transfer window if we are to be up there with the likes of City, Liverpool and now perhaps Chelsea. But I just feel as though that Solskjaer's not been backed enough, and I think he deserves more backing. And, Woodward said quite a few times that he's determined to back Solskjaer. At the first part of last season, he assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe. And also too, the Glazers have said, they're determined to back Solskjaer. But we've been critical of the board for several years, reflecting on how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also overpaid for players in recent years. Obviously, the managers that we've had since Ferguson's retirement, they haven't been backed enough. And I think Solskjaer has definitely been in a similar position to what Jose Mourinho was in. Because obviously Mourinho made it clear to our board in the summer of 2018 that he wanted to get a centre-half in. Obviously, never got that centre-half in. So this was one of the main explanations why he got sacked. Mourinho had bad disputes with the board and he had bad disputes with our top players. But he did win the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season at Manchester United and also got us second. But like I've said to you, this season is going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's second full season at the football club. And this is going to be the big test for him. It's very, very imperative that we do have a strong start to this season. Obviously, Crystal Palace is our first game of the Premier League season. That's a game Manchester United should win. Brighton is our second game of the Premier League season. That's another game we should win. But within our first 7 games, we've obviously got Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham and Everton. And they're all going to be tough games. I said if we make 2 more signings in this summer transfer window, I think our expectations will be to challenge for the title this season. I think another one of the expectations this season will be to win some silverware because we've not yet won out in terms of silverware under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, and Solskjaer has been at the football club now over a year and a half. And we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years, and it's the first time this has happened in just over 30 years. Like I said, Solskjaer needs to put Dean Henderson as number 1 this season, because I think Dean Henderson is now reliable enough to become our number 1 goalkeeper. I think now, Dean Henderson has got that experience behind him, because he recently endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United, and we got Dean Henderson at the age of 14. So Dean Henderson has been part of the club for several years. The other week he signed a 6-year deal with Man United worth 120 grand a week. Dean Henderson's actually threatened to leave the club if he isn't assured to be number 1 this season. Dean Henderson actually started in goal in our pre-season defeat to Aston Villa. But I think, Solskjaer's going to stick with David De Gea as number 1. I think he's too much of a liability now to remain number 1, but De Gea has been our number 1 goalkeeper for several years. David De Gea's enjoyed like 9 years at the club so far. This season's going to be his 10th season at Manchester United and that. But Solskjaer did make an admission during our Europa League campaign that he is facing a goalkeeping dilemma. Solskjaer's already made his decision on Harry Maguire. He is going to remain Manchester United captain this season. There's some Manchester United fans that don't think Maguire's good enough to captain the team. Last season was obviously Harry Maguire's first season at the club. We got him in a deal worth £80 million from Leicester last summer. So he's the second most expensive sign at the club at the moment and the most expensive centre-half in the world. He was recently given extra time off for his arrest in Greece and his court case in Greece. But, there's aspects of his game that I've still got to improve this season, Harry Maguire's. Without a shadow of a doubt. But like I said, I don't know if Solskjaer is the foreseeable future for Manchester United. I really, really don't. I think this season is going to tell the story if he is the right manager. Now, if we are to do well this season, then there's a possibility, chance that we could extend Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's contract. As it stands at the moment, I think he's just got under 2 years left on his current contract. But it is a transition period at Man United, and it has been a transition period for a while. Don't get me wrong, I have seen improvements since Solskjaer got recommended into the club. Like I mentioned, I think our recruitment's really, really improved under him. So far at the football club, Solskjaer spent just over £200 million. Obviously, he's brought 6 senior players in. Obviously, he's brought quite a few academy players in, which is very positive news. I think Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well. He's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into Man United. We are unbeaten in the league since January. We are unbeaten in our last 14 league games. So they are the positives that you can take. And I think, there's definitely players that have improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. I think Martial's really, really improved under him. Martial was absolutely exceptional last season. Obviously now he plays in that number 9 role. It's not his predominant position, but he looks very, very effective in that central position. Martial's enjoyed 5 years at the club. Got him from Monaco in 2015 for £36 million. I thought Martial was also exceptional in his debut season under Louis van Gaal era. Hopefully Martial can continue his good vein of form this season. Also too, I think Rashford has improved under him. Rashford has just recently recovered from an ankle injury. Rashford did have a back injury for us last season. Rashford does now play on that left-hand side. Rashford's been at the club for around 15 years now in total. Rashford's been part of the club for several years. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and he's been in our senior squad since 2016, and since then has become an integral part of our team. I think Greenwood was exceptional last season for Man United. Last season, I think, was his first full season in the senior squad. For the vast majority of last season, Mason Greenwood's appearances came from the bench. But towards the end of last season, he was getting a lot of starts. Now, I think it said Solskjaer set to hold talks with Mason Greenwood over his private life. I think something else has happened with Mason Greenwood. I know that he recently got withdrawn from the England squad by Gareth Southgate, so too did Phil Foden for bringing girls back to the team hotel and breaking COVID-19 guidelines. And we did recently give Mason Greenwood the number 11. You know, he's going to become the fourth Manchester United player to wear the number 11 shirt. Brandon Williams, he was very, very good last season for us. Last season was his first season in the senior squad. Brandon Williams made his senior debut for us against Rochdale in the EFL Cup, was it? And he made his first Premier League start against Brighton. It weren't so long ago that Brandon Williams signed a 4-year contract with Manchester United, and we recently give him the number 33 shirt. Obviously, he is our backup left back to Luke Shaw. Also got to say that Luke Shaw's really, really improved as a Manchester United player. He was very good last season. Obviously, for the first part of last season was out. Then obviously came back and did well. And then he sustained an ankle injury towards the end of last season. But my only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he is injury prone. Shaw's endured 6 years at the club. Got him from Southampton back in 2014 for £30 million. I've also got to say that Wan-Bissaka's been very, very good for us so far. You know, this season's going to be his second season at the club. Last season was his first season at the club. We got Wan-Bissaka in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace last summer. We just need to see more attacking intent from Wan-Bissaka because that's what he's lacking at the moment. So if he's to emulate to Trent Alexander-Arnold's level, we need to see more of the attacking side of his game. But I've got to say his defensive contributions always been very, very good. I think Fred has really, really improved under Solsjaer. Don't forget there was rumours of Fred leaving the football club. It said Galatasaray were interested in him. Also, too, Roma were interested in him. But Fred recently told 442 that he wants to stay at Manchester United. That's my desire, and he doesn't want to leave the club, and he wants to be an essential player and win trophies for the club. Fred has been with us a few years. Obviously, you know, we got Fred in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window. We paid £52 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk. But since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes, he's found game time hard as Fred. But I would definitely keep him at the club. McTominay, I think he's also really, really improved. He was good last season. Don't forget though, last season he had that ankle injury and was out for quite some time. Not so long ago, McTominay signed a 5-year deal with Man United to keep him at the club till 2025. Matic, I think he'll stay at Man United at least for another season. You know, I think he's also really, really improved. By the way, McTominay, I think now is our first choice defensive midfielder, so maybe now Matic's appearances will be limited at the club. Matic has endured 3 years at Manchester United. Not so long ago he signed a 3-year deal, but we got Matic in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. I've also been very, very impressed with Bruno Fernandes since he came in January. Bruno Fernandes has won Premier League Player of the Month 3 times already, reflect on his good performances. We got Bruno Fernandes in a deal worth around £55 million. And I think he's scored like 12 or 13 goals for us so far in all competitions, but he's definitely made the difference in the team. I've got to say, Daniel James impressed me for the vast majority of last season. You know, he was a cheap solution. We only paid £15 million for him from Swansea last summer. And I said when he left Swansea, you know, he'd taken a huge step in his career, coming all the way from the Championship to the Premier League. Towards the end of last season, though, Daniel James wasn't obviously getting his opportunities. I felt as though Solskjaer overplayed him last season. There has obviously been rumours before of us possibly loaning Daniel James out because obviously Mason Greenwood now plays on that right, Rashford's on the left. And obviously if we was to get Sancho, then, you know, there'd be no room at all for Daniel James. But I've said of in regards to Maguire, I think he's had some good games for Man United. He's also had some bad games. You know, Ighalo, he's also really, really impressed me since he came on loan to Man United on deadline day in January. Ighalo was our top goal scorer in the FA Cup last season. And just after lockdown, was it, we extended Odin Igalo's loan for a further 10 months, was it? Something like that. Or further 7 months. Yeah, we extended his loan until January 2021. You know, will Manchester United decide to get him permanently? Obviously, now he's just... Igalo's just a backup now, isn't he? Obviously, because obviously, you know, Marcus Rashford is now back. Towards the end of last season, I was very, very impressed with Paul Pogba. I've got to say that. For the vast majority of last season, didn't really have a perception on Pogba because he was out with that ankle injury. Pogba has sustained a few injuries as a Manchester United player. You know, this season's going to be Paul Pogba's 5th season at the football club since rejoining from Juventus in 2016. We paid 89 million for Pogba, so he is our most expensive signing at the moment. Don't forget, Paul Pogba recently returned to Man United training because he's just recently recovered from COVID-19. So that's very, very good from a Manchester United perspective. It's also good news for Paul Pogba and his family. But Solsjaer did say he's a doubt for the Crystal Palace game on Saturday, but hopefully he is available. I heard that we're thinking about playing Pogba out of position, so obviously, you know, we can get Donny van de Beek in there. But I think we've got to get Pogba a new long-term contract at the football club, you know, to end the uncertainty over his future, because he has had a long-running transfer saga. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's just got under a year left on his Man United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. You know, Fabrizio Romano said, didn't he, that Paul Pogba wants to stay at Man United, and he said he's happy at Man United. And if, you know, Mini Raiola, was it last month, his agent, he said that Paul Pogba will stay at Man United and he will hold talks over a new contract. You know, so it's very imperative that we keep him at the football club. So yeah, definitely, you know, seeing improvements under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Obviously, you know, last season was Solskjaer's first full season at the football club. To be honest with you, he exceeded most of his expectations. Obviously got us qualification for the Champions League. Also got us third. And we also progressed to 3 semi-finals. We got to the FA Cup semi-final, the Europa League semi-final, and the EFL Cup semi-final. The only expectation we didn't exceed last season was to win a trophy. You know. But I already went through with you, didn't I, what saved Solskjaer's job at Manchester United, and that was obviously the signing of Bruno Fernandes. I think our record against the top 6 sides last season also had a part to play in it, you know. And obviously, you know, with Solskjaer being a club legend, you know, that could also play a part in it as well, because Solskjaer was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance. But like I've said to you, you know, when Solskjaer first came in, he was inheriting a squad that was worth £700 million. This is obviously disregarding who he's brought in, because let's put into the equation, you know, the vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. You know, Jose Mourinho brought like 11 players into the club. You know, Mourinho brought obviously Eric Bailly in. That was actually his first signing. He obviously, you know, brought Lindelof in. He brought Lee Grant in. He brought Delo in. He brought Pogba in. He brought Matic in. He brought Lukaku in. He brought Sanchez in. He brought Mkhitaryan in. He brought Ibrahimovic in. You know, who else did he bring in? Yeah. They're the players, you know, that Jose Mourinho brought in. Fred, he's another one. You know, so yeah, brought 11 players into the football club. You know, Louis van Gaal, you know, he bought around 16 players when he was Man United manager, but a lot of them have now gone. You know, Van Gaal did bring players like Sneijderlin in, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao, Memphis Depay, Daley Blind, Rojo, Darmian, Martial, Shaw, Herrera, Romero, Victor Valdez. So they're the players that we brought in under Louis van Gaal era. Martial and Shaw, of course, still here from the Van Gaal era. So too is obviously Marcus Rojo. But yeah, obviously Moyes, we brought 2 players in, and that was Marion Fellaini and Juan Mata. Obviously, Juan Mata is still at the football club. And there's still a few players, I think, here from the Alex Ferguson era, but not many. I think there's only De Gea, Smalling. There's only De Gea and Smalling now that are here from the Ferguson era, and also to Phil Jones. But I've always said, Solskjaer deserves more time at Manchester United. But like I've said to you, in the last 7 years, we have been playing catch-up. We've had different managers with different philosophies. We've only won 3 trophies in the last 7 years, and that was obviously the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League and the League Cup under Mourinho. We've spent close to the £1 billion range on players in the last 7 years, and we've recruited over 30-odd players since Ferguson's retirement. But like I've said to you, in the entirety of our history, we have won 45 trophies. Obviously, 38 of them trophies came under the Sir Alex Ferguson era. We are the most successful team in Premier League history because obviously we've won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier Leagues, but we have not won the Premier League since 2013, so we have not won it for 7 years. But to be honest with you, I think Solskjaer has learned quite a lot at Manchester United. Obviously, he's got that managerial experience behind him now a bit more because Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. Solskjaer, I think, now knows his best 11, obviously. I think he should go with his best 11 against Palace because we should have a fully fit squad for then. Luke Shaw just come back. Rashford's just come back, like I mentioned. His Tuanzebe is still injured, by the way. And I think he knows his best formation. I think this season Solskjaer will go a lot with that 4-2-3-1 formation because he went a lot with that 4-2-3-1 formation last season, didn't he? Don't forget. But I want Manchester United to make more signings. I really, really do, because my element of concern is that there's teams around us that have been doing very, very good recruitment. By far, Chelsea have done the best business so far. Chelsea have brought players like Werner in, Ziyech, Kai Havertz, Ben Chilwell, Milan Sarr, Thiago Silva, Mendy. They try to obviously, now get Declan Rice in. They're also trying to get a goalkeeper in. Liverpool, they've only signed Sikmas at the moment. Obviously, they're trying to get Thiago. Man City, they signed Nathan Ake and Ferran Torres. Tottenham, they've made some good signings. They got Holberg, Joe Hart. Doherty. And I think, didn't they get Kyle Walker-Peters as well, if I'm right? Arsenal, they signed Gabriel Magalhaes and Willian. Everton, they've made some good signings. I think James Rodriguez, I've got to say, is a very, very good signing for them. I heard, obviously, Newcastle got Callum Wilson. Leeds, they've also made some good signings there. Brought, obviously, Hector Costa in, is it? Or Helter Costa, sorry. Rodrigo from Valencia. Cork, he's another one they brought in. Obviously, they got Harrison. Leeds have brought a total of 9 players in, obviously including some young players. But a big season this for Manchester United. It really, really is. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.